Thank you, Floor, and thank you for inviting us out of all these 80 different plans. As Floor indicated, we are here presenting the NetworkLAB. Basically, I will tell you very shortly why we set it up and what we want to achieve with it, and Thomas will dig more into some of the examples of what we actually did. I am Lilet Bredel, she mentioned my name, director of Argis. And Argis is a platform for, let's say, architectural debate and action. So I am one of those exponents from the architectural world digging into this area. Argis is an organization that whose main activity is actually making a magazine. It's called Volume Magazine. And as the time that we developed, it's a themed magazine, quarterly, that we developed the theme, the Internet of Things, we really had to dig into an area that was formerly rather unknown to us. And it was actually a world out there of coders and people actually designing the city, an area that we formerly thought belonged to the urban planners and the architects. And this connection to that other world made us aware of other ways of looking, other languages used for describing the city, but also for actually designing the city. So we did a couple of workshops actually putting the two groups together, the architects and what we came to call the coders, for an easy way of language use. And just simply actually to see if there was a conversation going on, if they were using the same language, if they could set things up together. And actually the very first weekend, I think we can say we find out they could not. Discussions were going all the way and nothing really came out of it. But there was an enormous amount of energy and actually real conversation going on that led to a need within the group to go on with it and to do a couple of more experiments and workshops, and but actually with a goal to get somewhere, to work to real projects. So when we did that, we found out that basically more and more we needed a kind of, or wanted to create a kind of testing ground where those experiments in digital technologies and findings for the real world, for actually the citizens of a city, could be tried out, could be tested. So we needed a physical space to actually do that. And our very first, let's say, installment of the NetworkLAB, that's already, as is pointed out here, had done a couple of projects and works and is actually at the core, as its name says, NetworkLAB. It is about networks, but it basically is a network in itself. And that is extremely important. So I think what we here do is presenting, but basically more inviting, inviting to join, because the NetworkLAB can only exist with collaborations of people like you. One more thing about the area, we choose the NDSM area as the first, let's say, hub of the NetworkLAB. It is, as you can see there, in Amsterdam North, an old ship wharf with an enormous history and a very undefined future. And that makes it extremely interesting as a place to experiment. It has a large open space, but also a very mixed user group. So there are artist studios, little startup companies, but at the same time there is the headquarters of MTV, there is the headquarters of the warehouse HEMA, and well, a couple of more also bigger companies. And it is a festival area, so yearly there are at specific points thousands and thousands of people getting in and out of that area, using it for a temporary base combined with those mixed-use things. I think very quickly go to you because that makes it much more real, the practicals.
My name is Thomas Jaskiewicz, and in a way I'm the the most recent addition to the team of NetworkLAB, as I'm coming from Delft, from a technical university there, from the group Hyperbody, which is a group in the Faculty of Architecture, which for the last 10 years or so has been dealing with a lot of technology-inspired explorations in architecture. But we have also realized that basically, once we're doing all these explorations, while we're trying to prototype all sorts of crazy architecture, very often these experiments stay very detached from the real world. Let's say at this point, the collaboration with the NetworkLAB became exactly what we needed, as it provided us with a good context of where some of these experiments could be basically brought to the actual world and could be applied to real-world problems. So in a way, the core of NetworkLAB is to build a research platform to prevent that the knowledge and interventions from all sorts of physical and virtual projects dissolve and disappear. And at the core of the work of NetworkLAB lies the understanding of why, in the first place, certain problems need to be addressed and answered to using technology, but also using out-of-the-box thinking. And through that, leading to the insertion of a certain intervention to the site. But the most important thing here is that that loop should not close. Once we finish a project, we should not leave it, put it to the side, and start basically working on a completely new detached project. But actually what we aspire to do is to keep a certain continuation of research related to a particular place, which is in this case the NDSM wharf in Amsterdam. So where it has gotten us is this place. I mean, starting sort of against the chronology of the development is we have most recently introduced 20 students from Delft, 20 architecture design students. We've given them the assignment to basically explore the site of NDSM. And apart from other things, while exploring, while figuring out who are the players, what are the important people there who might have some influence on their designs, but also what are the things in there that might have an influence on their designs alike. And for this, we ended up using a platform which actually, which originates from our group in Delft, which was originally developed by my colleague Christian Friedrich for tagging CNC fabricated components coming out from our fabrication lab. Why this is, but what it has become is, in the process of applying it to other problems, is also a way of identifying through these tags that can be attached to any objects and that have a unique identifier, unique ID number. They allow us to add all sorts of information to whatever we tag, whatever unique objects we tag. And through basically, this project has started basically a week ago. We've managed to tag around 90 people and things on the NDSM, and this collection keeps growing. And you can, in real time, view how the information attached to these tags is being updated. And what's important is that the projects that our students are inserting into the site are also tagged and basically are always connected to the actual network of people and things in that area. So as you can see, just to browse through some examples, Alex, who couldn't be here today, has been tagged by one of the students, but also through the connection that you see in the bottom, also the crane, which happened to be one of his favorite objects on the site, has also been tagged. So we can follow all these sorts of relations throughout the environment, throughout the site, and so forth. But going backwards, in a way, there has been many more projects that have brought us to this state, starting with the ownership workshop at NDSM, which was a sort of an introductory workshop to really understand what are the problems with technology and application of it to the actual sites and the actual context. Going through the Hypermat Picnic workshop in collaboration with the VAC Society, with DOS Architects and a number of other partners, and eventually the Storytelling Festival, and lastly, the project we just started with the students from TU Delft. But in all these projects, this idea of understanding the site, creating an intervention, and basically bringing whatever comes out from that intervention back into the site and back into the new projects, and most importantly, back into the community has been the most important element for us. Thank you very much.